Are you serious? Are you serious? Folks, are you serious? Now you do know there's going to be a one world government, or the beast, as the Bible calls it. It will be led by an antichrist, who will be antichrist, and he will rule this world. He'll have a sidekick, who is actually called the false prophet. And he will lead a one world religion. Now, this one world religion concept has already been embraced by several religious leaders, Buddhists, Hindus, some leading Islamic clerics and imams, some Catholic cardinals, some Protestant and televangelists, and even there's been a gathering this year at the Vatican with the Pope, some of the cardinals, as well as the Jewish President Shimon Peres, and Palestinian leader, of course, Mahmoud Abbas. There were Jewish rabbis present, as well as Muslim imams. This process is beginning. We have breaking news coming out of the Vatican. Shimon Peres is 91 years old, and he's done, okay? He's no longer the president of Israel. But he is still on the world stage, and maybe plays a major role in the formation of a one world religion. Listen to this. Vatican City is reporting that former President Shimon Peres of Israel emerged from a Vatican City audience with Pope Francis yesterday, September the 4th, 2014, after proposing a kind of United Nations for religions. What? Listen to this. Peres, age 91, who was the world's oldest head of state until his term ended 6 weeks ago, met with Pope Francis amid heightened tensions in the Middle East. He used the talks to highlight human rights abuses from Hamas and discuss the rise of anti-Semitism in Europe. All right. But the main topic of the conversation was Peres's ideal to create a UN-like organization he calls the United Religions, or a one-world religion. I know what he's saying. He's not saying it's a one-world religion. He wants to create a United Religions, but that's what comes out of that. There's no other way around that. Now, Peres said that the Argentina-born pontiff was the only world figure, quote, the only world figure respected enough to bring an end to the wars raging in the Middle East and elsewhere in the world. So in other words, according to former Israeli President Shimon Peres, that only Pope Francis has the power to end world wars and raging devastation going on in the Middle East and around the world. Now, folks, if you go to Thessalonians, it tells you how that comes about. Matter of fact, Dr. Malachi Martin was on the Coast to Coast radio show back in 1996, and he was asked about how will we know the demon spirit of the Antichrist. He said he will arise on this world scene and solve a problem, a chaotic world problem of some sort that seems to be insuperable. An insuperable problem. In other words, an impossible problem. An insuperable problem, he will be able to solve it. And when he does, the world will call him God. Now, this is what Peres is trying to say. Basically, what Peres is trying to say is, let's create a United Religions, not a one world religion, but let's set the forum. And he's saying to the Pope, you're the only one that could bring an end to the raging wars in the Middle East around the world. That is an unbelievable statement coming from a Jewish former head of state of Israel to the Vatican Pope. Well, let me just say, there's a lot more in this. I'm going to share this in my live broadcast today. I'm going to break this down for you. But what I'm going to do right now is stop. I'm going to let Max read Revelation 13. I want you to hear the words of what happens when the beast rises in the end days. And folks, I'm telling you now, the beast is rising. Revelation chapter 13, the new world order, which will have a one world religion, will have a one world currency, and a one world system called the mark of the beast.
Revelation 13. And I stood upon the sand of the sea, and saw a beast rise up out of the sea, having 7 heads and 10 horns, and upon his horns 10 crowns, and upon his heads the name of blasphemy. And the beast which I saw was like unto a leopard, and his feet were as the feet of a bear, and his mouth as the mouth of a lion. And the dragon gave him his power, and his seat and great authority. And I saw one of his heads, as it were, wounded to death, and his deadly wound was healed. And all the world wondered after the beast, and they worshipped the dragon which gave power unto the beast.
Now, notice, this beast rose up, and it had 7 heads. There's 7 continents on the earth. It had 10 horns, and those 10 horns were all wearing crowns. Now, even under the Illuminati divides the earth into 10 sectors, each sector being ruled by a king. Revelation is saying that this 7 heads, 7 continents, the whole world, will be divided into 10 kingdoms, and those kings wear a crown, and the crown says blasphemy. Now, if you look at radical Islam, you'll see that they wear the banner on their head, and they use the Islamic wording across it. And in the Hebrew language, if you look at Hebrew, it would say look like the number 666. It's one of the things being pointed out by Walid Shubad and Perry Stone and others. Now, let me just say quickly, this beast that rises will have a deadly head wound. In other words, an insuperable problem. Don't know exactly what it is. No one does. But it's an insuperable problem. And maybe it's in one of the continents. And maybe Ebola or some plague comes. Or some catastrophe from an asteroid or comet. Or some type of world explosion of nuclear weapons. I don't know. Or maybe just radical Islam and ISIS. But this man can heal it.
And they worshipped the beast, saying, Who is like unto the beast? Who is able to make war with him? And there was given unto him a mouth, speaking great things and blasphemies, and power was given unto him to continue 42 months. And he opened his mouth in blasphemy against God, to blaspheme his name and his tabernacle, and them that dwell in heaven. And it was given unto him to make war with the saints, and to overcome them. And power was given him over all kindreds and tongues and nations.
So he had power from the dragon, or from Lucifer, to make war with the saints and to overtake them. And that's what's happening as we speak. We see Christians are being overtaken, but Jesus said this would happen also in Matthew 24, Mark 13, Luke 21. We know it's all through the Bible that this persecution would come.
And all that dwell upon the earth shall worship him, whose names are not written in the book of life of the Lamb slain from the foundation of the world. If any man have an ear, let him hear. He that leadeth into captivity shall go into captivity. He that killeth with the sword must be killed with the sword. Here is the patience and faith of the saints. And I beheld another beast coming up out of the earth, and he had 2 horns like a lamb, and he spake as a dragon. And he exerciseth all the power of the first beast before him, and causeth the earth, and them which dwell therein, to worship the first beast, whose deadly wound was healed. And he doeth great wonders, so that he maketh fire come down from heaven on the earth in the sight of men, and deceiveth them that dwell on the earth by the means of those miracles which he had power to do in the sight of the beast, saying to them that dwell on the earth that they should make an image to the beast, which had the wound by a sword, and did live. And he had power to give life unto the image of the beast, that the image of the beast should both speak, and cause that as many as would not worship the image of the beast should be killed. And he causeth all, both small and great, rich and poor, free and bond, to receive a mark in their right hand, or in their foreheads, and that no man might buy or sell, save he that had the mark, or the name of the beast, or the number of his name. Here is wisdom. Let him that hath understanding count the number of the beast, for it is the number of a man, and his number is 666.
Folks, the Illuminati spirit is rising, and the radical Islamic spirit is rising, and they're coming together as one. Oppression, persecution, world dominance. The beast is rising. Are you saved? Give your life to Jesus Christ. We are living in the last hours of time.